Wellness Wednesday, good morning and Merry Christmas.
There's a lot of stuff going on here.
Look at this fella.
Yeah, I know. He I hate the chicken dance. I hate the chicken dance and get away from my coffee, you dirty little bird.
You dirty little bird. What did he ever do to you, that poor little bird?
He did the chicken dance. That's
He's
enough to
just
trick me
trying to
right off.
dance. He's just
I have to announce something.
Okay.
Okay, so on the show was it Monday? On Monday, I had Celia Ross on with Donna Hilsinger
Yes.
talking about the two plays, one play reading, one play. And the series was called Remember Me. It was 3 performances, November 14th, 15th, and 16th. One of the performers has broken a bone.
Oh, no.
I think a leg. So the entire thing is postponed.
Oh, how sad.
If you have tickets, just get a hold of, I would imagine it's Algoma University, because it was the Algoma U, it was the theater company at Algoma U putting it on. So, Theater Algoma, I believe. So, anyway, or hold on to your tickets and they'll be good in January when the dates were announced. So, but just so you know, Remember Me in support of the Alzheimer's Society has been postponed until January.
Oh, what a shame.
And we wish the performer well. I believe it was an actress.
Please get well soon. My
Yes.
goodness, that hurts. Remember we were talking about Jennifer Aniston's new movie? The Morning Show, it's called?
Yes,
And you said,
yes.
I'm not sure what it's about. Well, she actually did an interview in Australia for the premiere, and she said she's kind of defending the movie and saying that it's not based specifically on the Matt Lauer firing for sexual assault or sexual misconduct. She said, we take care of all of it. She said it's based on power struggles, the pay equality, sexism, ageism, racism. She said all of the isms are
They get
right
all that
in there.
in 2 hours?
And you know what? She said this movie starts, boom, that fast.
Wow.
I'm so curious. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be fun.
Okay, and the co-star is Reese Witherspoon, yes?
Yes, she's
Yeah.
in there. I don't know who the male
It's
anchor
Steve
is.
Carell.
Oh, it is.
3 actors I like.
Yeah, seriously, I would watch just for them. Right?
All right, but okay.
Yeah, so that's what it's about. It's
That's
not.
what- okay, so
it's
here's-
not necessarily about Matt.
What does it deal with Apple TV?
Pardon?
Because from my understanding, it's not just a major release to cinemas. It's also available through Apple TV or something. Like you can buy it through Apple TV and watch it.
I haven't read that.
I think it's been released in this certain crazy, because I see the ads for it and then it's like Apple TV.
Oh,
So I'm not really sure how that works.
I'm not either.
We'll have to find out.
Yes.
Because we're just, we're old. And we
we
don't
are.
know all about these modern things. But see, that's the kind of film that I wouldn't necessarily go and watch on a big screen. I'm kind of...
Yeah, I'm the same.
When I go out to see a movie on
I
a big
want a
screen,
production.
I want something that has a big musical
Yeah.
or something that's like cinematography is amazing or a big production.
or even suspenseful.
Yes.
The bigger, the better.
horror films on a big screen
More
in a
is
theater
more.
with people. Yes.
Yeah. But on a rom-com, it's kind of like, this isn't necessarily a rom-com.
I kinda
but
feel
on a
the same
comedy,
way.
I'm sort of like, I'll wait till it comes on my television.
So, how do you feel about John Legend? You like him?
I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He, as you probably know, People magazine has named John Legend the sexiest man alive.
As they should.
Alive. It's a little too far reaching for me, the sexiest man alive. Okay, from People's perspective.
You're just mad because you didn't get nominated.
I never get it. Interesting though, he's the third cast member from The Voice to have won this. I mean, you don't win it, but to have been named the sexiest man alive. Adam Levine.
Yes.
From The Voice, also.
Blake Shelton.
So he's the third. So I guess Blake announced it on The Voice the other night.
Yes, that's what I hear.
And he said, you arrived at The Voice already an EGOT winner, which is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Because he won the Emmy for producing Jesus Christ Superstar, Grammy, of course, for his music, Oscar for the song Glory from the movie Selma, and Tony for co-producing a best revival of a play winner, Jitney, in 2017. So it's not all for performances, there's a lot of it's for producing. Anyway, so Blake says you arrived on The Voice as an EGOT winner. Then you, as a coach, won The Voice. So now you're a VGOT winner. And now you're the sexiest man alive, so now you're a Bagatsma.
Bagatsma.
Yeah.
It sounds like the base of a soup.
Vigotsma.
You throw in the vagatsma.
John says it's an honor, but it's kind of scary because he feels like everyone's going to be picking him apart now, seeing, are you really worthy of being the sexiest man alive?
Well, I'm sure he's kind of used to that too, though, right?
He's a nice man. He's funny. He's talented. He's got a nice
Do you
body.
like
He's a
his
good family
music?
man. Oh, I love John.
Yeah.
His voice is phenomenal.
You know what? My former co-host and my husband hate his music.
Your husband Jim and your former co-host Scott
Yes.
Turnbull, they hate it.
Yeah.
Really?
They find him very whiny.
Oh.
I'm like,
Okay. Well, let them go ahead
you
and
can
see.
be wrong. That's okay.
No, let's see Scott Sexsmith on the cover. People
Not
magazine.
Sexsmith, Turnbull.
Oh, Scott Turnbull. Sorry, wrong person from radio. Scott Turnbull on the cover of People magazine with his shirt open. Scott, we'll wait for that day.
Yeah. Do it, Bear. You can.
It Bear. I love that you call him Bear.
He's a bear.
Luann,
Yes?
guess what they found? On this date in 2017, they found the earliest winemaking kit. They've been
In my garage.
6,000
It still works.
6,000 BC.
Wee!
In Georgia. Where's Georgia? Soviet Republic, Georgia, up that area?
Okay.
Ukraine, I don't know.
Sure.
Where's Georgia? Is Georgia on that big continent where the...
It's in the States, no?
That's the state of... You're silly. No, the country, Georgia. Yeah, because there's...
6,000 BC.
Yeah, from Kramis Didi Gora. So if you ever see a bottle of wine that says Kramis Didi Gora on it, it's probably it's probably dusty.
Walk away.
Walk away.
You don't want to drink
It's been
that.
around since 6,000 BC.
You know what? I want to know who figured out that rotten grapes could become wine.
Not just rotten grapes, potatoes, peaches, anything that ferments.
Right? But not for wine.
Peach wine, Luann.
Oh, yes. Okay. Not potato wine.
No, that's vodka.
That's vodka. Dandelion wine. We used to make that in Espanola.
Did you really?
We called it porch climber.
Okay, it's also
parties.
Remember we talked about this last year. It's also Sadie Hawkins Day today.
Oh,
so the girls can go out and
gosh.
try to get themselves a husband.
Yeah.
It's World Kindness Day. That's what it says.
He sounded like Daisy in the Little Abner.
Little Abner, go get myself a husband. World Kindness Day. And it's also Caregiver Appreciation Day.
Yes.
I take care of you.
Oh, yeah, you do.
And Brigitte Nielsen was on to talk. This is a funny story. Remember Brigitte Nielsen?
Oh, Marriage of Sly Stallone. at
Yes,
one point.
white hair.
6
red-
feet tall.
Yeah,
Like
Red
just-
Sonja. She starred in Red Sonja. Okay.
Oh.
She's now 56, looks amazing.
Oh, she's
So on the
gorgeous.
talk. Okay, so she talks about 1987 in a club, and Madonna's there. And her and Madonna keeps stepping on Brigitte Nielsen's toes, on her feet, and Brigitte's getting ticked off. And so eventually, at some point, Madonna's very rude to Brigitte Nielsen, so Brigitte Nielsen slaps Madonna. I know.
I would have loved to have seen it.
Well, the audience on the talk clapped. Because what they were what
Yeah.
brought them to this topic was Madonna being 2 hours late and saying the Queen is never late and releasing that video and her arrogance towards her crowds.
You know what? Good for that crowd. Madonna,
And
man.
they chanted they wanted their money back.
Yeah.
So anyway, they got on Madonna. So Brigitte Nielsen told us the story about, I slapped her in this club, and then Brigitte Nielsen was thrown out by the bouncers. She said, but she got even. Because a couple months later, she's in the south of France, and she had a one-night stand with Sean Penn while he was still married to Madonna.
Woo! She said that? Mm-hmm. Oh, my word. Madge.
That's not very nice woman to woman, though.
No, it's really not.
But it's a good story.
That's a really good story.
Talking
though.
about rude people, James Corden had Khloe Kardashian on the show. Apparently, this is an older episode. Spill your guts, where you have to
Yes.
either eat something
Yeah.
terrible. So he either had to drink bird saliva or talk or answer her question. And her question was, "Who's the rudest celebrity you ever met?"
Oh.
And he said, "I don't want to say because I might want to have him on the show." And she
Right.
said, "If he's rude, why would you want to have him on the show? So spill." And he said it was Pierce Brosnan.
I've heard that about him.
They were at a U2 concert by the runway. Bono's up there performing. Pierce and his gang left. Big hole there. James said we tried to save the space for them, but eventually they never came back, and so he and his party moved into the space, and there's Bono
Well,
standing
sure,
right there.
yeah.
Looks bad to have an empty space, so all of a sudden he feels a hand on his arm, pulling him. No eye contact. Pierce Brosnan reclaiming his space. Grabbed him, yanked him, and walked right in his space again. He said he may not be a rude person, but he was rude to me at that one time.
So he wasn't a rude guest.
No, he was a rude
at
celebrity.
Wow. Pierce, shame on you.
See, we have to be nice wherever we go now because
We
people
do.
might think that we're nasty.
Yeah. Too late.
Okay, listen, coming up on the show, there's a movie out. It's coming out next year. The Woods That Made Me.
Ooh.
It's local and it's scary.
Awesome.
And then Carla Falganelli's on the show for Wellness Wednesday to talk about fit bodies, fit minds. So stay with us. Plus, Luann has the news. We'll see you right after this.
Past year, we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room. Create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
I always get excited when I hear about that there's other films going on in Sault Ste. Marie and in the area. So congratulations for continuing the tradition and keeping us going here. This is the writer and director of the film that's coming out, The Woods That Made Me. Nice to have you on the show. This is Doug Ewan. And Randy May is one of the performers in the film, although I understand we may not recognize you in the film after seeing you here today.
That's right.
You have a fair amount of, do you wear prosthetics or is it strictly makeup or what?
I think it's a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of dirt, a lot of bandages, some... a lot of latex.
A lot of latex, right? Okay. So Doug, let's talk a little bit about how you ended up in Sault Ste. Marie. You came up here how many years ago?
About 3 years now.
You've been here about 3 years now. You have a background in film?
Yeah, I've been doing it since, unprofessionally since I was like 8 years old.
Really?
Yeah, we'd make tons of films when we were kids. I have a bunch of them on VHS. And I helped out on a few sets, did some background, some grip work.
Yeah?
Things of that nature.
So learn the trade sort of hands-on, right?
Yeah, and then I came to Sault Ste. Marie. I was with some family, and then I got in an accident. And
you stayed.
I stayed, yeah.
Well, that's one way to move to Sault Ste. Marie. You're forced to stay here. But you actually made this your home now.
Yeah, no, I love it here.
You love it here, okay. So this is, you've done other films before, smaller films, but not
Short
a feature.
films, yeah, this is my first feature.
What was your source for this material? So you have source material for this, The Woods That Made Me?
Yeah, so there's a local author, his name's M.D. Lawrence. He wrote Drifting Upwards, and it was more like not coming of age, but like soul searching, like he found himself. He actually went to school in the States. Him and I have like a lot of the same demons. So when I read the book, I was like, okay, I understand where he's coming from. The book probably won't translate to screen as well as if I took the words right off the page and put them on the screen. So I was like, I'm going to change up the genre, change up some of the characters, and
so you went from sort of coming of age story to a horror.
His was horrific in sense as well. It went more Yeah.
So is this sort of like you took the demons and really like brought them to life kind of thing, or what?
more than less, yeah.
Hey, that was I got that right. Okay,
That was
cool.
good.
So you wrote it. How long did the process take about adapting his novel to the screenplay?
A long time, 'cause at first we did go for the book to the screen, and then I was like, we're gonna switch this up. Just with going through concept art and like treatments and things like that, probably a couple months until we started writing. And then on set too, there's multiple rewrites just because of like location changes, or when something looks different, or something looks a little bit better. So
Were you in touch with the author through any of this?
yeah, I mean, I haven't been in touch with anybody for months after doing this.
Because you're in post-production now, so you're
Yeah.
like buried up to your neck in edits, right?
Well, mostly, yeah. I have an editing team. They're good, but with him, at first I was. Now we're just like we do talk on like a friendly basis. We're
Yeah.
friends too.
Cool.
But on a work scale, I just kind of had to separate myself from everyone to keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have your product, you got your script, you got that's all done. Now comes time to casting. And Randy, how did you find out about the project? How did you come to be in the show, in the movie?
Well, I did a little bit of background acting, and I kind of like the feel for it. So I noticed Doug had put out an ad. He was looking for a certain character known as the Bandage Man. I was like, you know what? Why not give it a shot? The worst thing I can do is suck at it, but I think in life, like, we all act to a certain degree. Whether you act a certain way at work, you act a certain way with your spouse, you act a certain way if you want a toy when you're a kid, you act a certain way whether you're in school, whatever the case may be. We all act, right?
Yeah.
So at least I got an opportunity to show my skills on camera at this
very
point.
good. Yeah.
So anyway, Doug asked for some self tapes and so forth. So I sent it some self tapes.
Had you ever done a self-tape before?
Never.
How did you? Okay, yeah, because I had never heard about this. Is a whole new thing to me, like the self-tape stuff. Now that you have cell phones and stuff, and it's kind of crazy. Like directors or casting directors, they just want to see you do like even a couple of lines, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if I even did the self tape right. I think I buried myself in see, I didn't do it.
You did do it right.
The framing was all wrong. Yeah.
Framing was all wrong. See, this is what's interesting. Now
And you're supposed to wear clothing when you do it.
wear clothing.
That's why you got it.
Well, I tried to get into the
Yeah.
character.
Right. Okay.
So basically, it's like a self tape. He put his cell phone up and he taped himself. The funny thing is, I gave him probably one of the hardest clips from a movie called There Will Be Blood.
Oh.
So it's Daniel Day-Lewis, if you're familiar with him.
You made him do like a monologue from There Will Be Blood?
Yeah, so I was like, this will destroy him. So I threw it at him because I'm a really big supporter of Canadian cinema. Like all my favorite directors, actors, all Canadian. I try my best to stay in the North. And I was like, I need some local actors. So I sent him some Daniel Day-Lewis stuff. He sent it back and I watched it and I was like, oh, he did it.
Really, eh?
I was like, I gotta meet him. So we got
Randy
to meet
May.
him. We went over the voices and
So how many others are in the main cast? What you call your lead actors?
so Ray, she's played by Gillian Fortin. She's the lead. Another local actress, Ella Morin, is a supporting character in the film.
Wow.
Randy's a supporting character in the film. We have about 7 or 8 other characters that are more just there to lead the story, and then dozens of dead bodies.
And where'd you film, Randy? In what areas?
Well, I know the movie itself. Like I wasn't in all the scenes. I know they filmed out in Sudbury. They did a large portion here in Sault Ste. Marie. They
Wow, you
did
filmed in Sudbury too,
some shots out in Gros Cap, Garden River.
I believe we have some footage. I think we have a trailer. Oh, it's playing right now. Oh my gosh, what is she? This is a horror film. This is beautifully. Oh wow. So that's your actress?
Yeah, that's Gillian. This is the first teaser. We have one more that we did after this, but this is and that's Randy right there.
Randy's Bandage Man.
Bandage Man.
Holy smokes! And the total time of filming then? How long did it take to film this?
It's a very interesting story. So at first, I always tell people if a filmmaker ever tells you that, like their gear makes their career, what camera they use, or what sound equipment they use, and then they obviously are in the wrong profession. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to shoot this on a cell phone. And everyone's like, you're crazy. I'm like, no, I can do it. I have this certain arrogance about me. It's like polite, but it's still enough there to be like, okay.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to a company called Moment, and they supply like cell phone lenses and cases.
But Moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're actually fantastic. They're like 58mm lenses for cell phones. It's great. We were shooting it. I took the footage, shopped it around a bit, and then someone was like, "Oh, that's fantastic!" So we ended up picking up a bunch of new producers, and then we got actually Blackmagic. We use their gear.
That's our cameras here.
We use the cinema, the 4K cinema cameras, and then we reshot, and then we're gonna do pickups probably just to start next year, just the shots I missed, like crane shots.
So did you end up using the footage with the cell phones?
No, I have it. I'm gonna cut it. It'll be released on DVD just so people can see where it comes from. Because I want people to know, like it's a very hard industry, and like everyone will always say, like, well, the only way you can learn is to make an actual film yourself, and that's what I had to do.
Trial by error kind of thing.
Exactly. It's like,
or trial by fire, more like. Let's not call it error. Let's trial by fire sounds better.
Well, it's like when James Cameron says you just pick up a camera and go film something. Now you're a director, and I tell people, you can cut your arm and you can be a surgeon, I guess. So do whatever you want, but no, you really have to go through the process to realize like how many times you have to be beat down and get back up until you.
So Randy, when is the release for this?
I believe it comes out October.
You're aiming for Halloween 2020?
Yeah, probably more like halfway through the month.
Halfway through the month? Halfway through October?
That was a producer suggestion.
Right, okay. Yeah. Excellent. And the other question I had was, you already have other stuff on the go?
Yes, tons of stuff on the go, yeah.
Like, so are you doing more writing? Are you getting ready to shoot some more stuff? Like, where are you at now? While you're doing the post-production on The Woods That Made Me.
A few of my shorts just got out of the film festival circuit, which is nice.
Hey, how'd they do? Where'd you go? How many countries?
Well, I played in 2 continents, about 7 or 8 countries. Yeah, I got
Holy smokes.
18 official selections. It was nice. Played in Russia, and I had to do a bunch of subtitles, and Google was not the most helpful.
Wow.
So that was nice. But now that that's done, actually, I'm just writing another feature right now. Hopefully in BC this summer. If not, then we'll be going next summer. But we're aiming for this summer to produce.
Do you ever work with other young directors, wannabe filmmakers? I mean, did you ever have workshops or stuff like that? Because that would be, I think your knowledge would be really cool to hear. Have you ever done that or considered that?
I'm still learning myself. No, I haven't. I work with a lot of them. Yeah. No, for sure. I definitely enjoy having them on set and teach people stuff and showing them stuff.
I'm really glad you're here. I'm really glad you're in the Sioux. I'm glad you stuck around.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah,
okay, and you know what? Thanks for being here, Randy.
Absolutely.
When it's coming to release, please come back.
For sure.
Okay, love to have you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Great.
We'll be back with Luann right after this.
This is On TV.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
That's good.
welcome back. Thank you to KC Security this morning for sponsoring the show. We always appreciate it so much, you guys. Daniel and Nathan always do
Playing with
such
all
good
the
things.
Christmas
Look
stuff
at
that Trina
you.
put out for us. This
Look
is a
at
cute
that.
one.
Yes.
Hi.
Oh, it doesn't really show much that you have a.
Oh, my mustache.
Yeah, what about it?
Look at it. It's coming in a little bit. I got pledges.
Did you? Good.
Yesterday I have $40 on my pledge page.
Do you?
Yeah, you just go to Movember.com and then go to the Canadian one. I think you'll be redirected. And then my name is Timothy Murphy and I have my own page and you can pledge me to grow my mustache in. And the
better get on that.
funds are all in support of men's health, cancer awareness for prostate and what's the other one? I always forget the testicular. And then also for men's mental health. So then Movember.
So do you think you would ever keep it after?
Oh God, no.
No? Why?
Oh, I don't like myself with facial hair.
No?
No, and also I think it's going to be coming in a little bit gray.
Yeah,
So
I
don't
see
wanna-
a little couple of grays
You don't
there.
need to say that.
Yeah, that's okay
'cause I
though.
can
That's
always-
sexy.
Is that?
It is.
Mama
Honey,
thinks-
it is. I'm
Mama thinks
telling you.
I'm sexy.
Oh, la, la, la.
Okay.
Hey, did you hear about that 17-year-old in Michigan, in Detroit?
Apparently not.
Who had to have a double lung transplant
From vaping?
from vaping.
I didn't read about it, but I just
It's in
saw
the
a headline.
newscast coming up.
You do it,
It is unbelievable. The specialist who actually did the transplant said that he's been doing them for 20 years. He has never seen lungs in the condition that this kid's lungs were in. He said, it's an evil I haven't faced before.
Oh my God! I just got that's.
Yeah, he showed pictures of this boy's lungs, and it was unbelievably horrific.
So is it? What is it? Is something in the? He was vaping cannabis.
They
yes?
don't know. They haven't talked about, because the family is staying somewhat anonymous. They haven't released his name or pictures of him, of course.
Oh.
But they do want his lungs and X-rays and that sort of stuff to be out there, because they think it's important to get the message across. He was a healthy 16-year-old, very active,
And he's only
very
17 now?
and
In
he's
1
only
year,
17.
the vaping
He
destroyed his
went
lungs?
Like that. He was on life support, and he shot up to the first of the transplant list because he was in such dire shape.
This is incredible.
His lungs weren't even photographing on X-ray somehow because there was no air in them.
What the heck is
Yeah, they could not believe this boy and how he.
And there's other now. Are there not like 6 or 7 deaths
yes.
from vaping?
Oh,
Luann?
absolutely. And you'll see in the story too, they talk a little bit about
On the
the
news.
stats in the States. Preschoolers and high schoolers. Preschoolers, 11% of those that were surveyed are vaping. And they're all using the flavored ones, right?
Wait a minute. When you say preschoolers, no, what do you mean pre?
Oh, I'm sorry, not preschool, elementary school. Did I say preschool?
I'm picturing 4-year-olds vaping, thinking
I meant pre-high school.
pre-high school.
Yeah, like so. grade
Elementary
7, 8,
school?
Yes. Isn't that terrible?
You know what
and
else?
it's like kids. I don't understand why this is
Because they marketed it to them.
right. But
This is the big saving thing. No more smoking. Vaping is. They made it look like it was safe, and then they put the flavors in to make it
Yeah.
attractive. Of course, it's going to happen.
I can't believe such a big country didn't have more regulations in place before they sold this, because it's not
I will
just
tell
teens,
you
of
right
course.
now.
But people are getting sick from these e-cigarettes, and it's like, how did this get through your
Because of big
standards?
tobacco, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all money talks. I was at Algoma Public Health when this happened, when it started happening. I remember Janet Allen, public health nurse, fighting and fighting and fighting, saying no, and we're not ready yet to do this. We don't have enough information to make this, to say
There's
this
no
is safe.
stats.
There's nothing.
So talk to your kids.
Oh man, for sure. Oh,
Especially
listen.
on a Wellness Wednesday.
So now there's more news coming up. There's that news story
Yes.
plus lots more. So tune in, stay tuned. Tune in. You're already here. Thanks for
hope.
being here. Luann has the news next. We'll be right back.
Recently, the government
Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Jeff Regan, who presided over the House of Commons as Speaker for the past 4 years, is looking to reprise his role in the new session of Parliament. The Halifax Liberal MP plans to let his name stand among those who want to be the referee in what's likely to be a fractious Commons following last month's bruising election campaign that returned Justin Trudeau's Liberals with a minority government. The new session is to start on December 5th, and the first order of business will be for MPs to elect a new Speaker. There are thought to be at least 3 others who will leave their names in the running. Bruce Stanton, a Conservative MP who served as Deputy Speaker in the last session. Anthony Rota, a Liberal MP from Northern Ontario who served in the last session as Assistant Deputy Speaker. And Carol Hughes, a New Democrat MP representing Algoma, Manitoula and Kapuskasing, who also served as Assistant Deputy Speaker. Conservative leader Andrew Scheer and Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe's back-to-back meetings with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau yesterday yielded few results in the search for national unity after a divisive federal election. Moe said that he arrived in Ottawa in good faith to hear how Trudeau plans to make good on a promise he made on election night, that he would address the frustrations of voters in Alberta and Saskatchewan who didn't elect a single Liberal MP between them on October 21st. Moe showed up armed with demands: a 1-year pause on the federal carbon tax in Saskatchewan, a reworked equalization formula, and more overseas oil markets opened by completing pipelines beyond the Trans Mountain project. But he received commitments on none of them. Moe said it's time for his province to find another path forward. Moe said Saskatchewan will continue its core challenge to the federal carbon tax and increase outreach to global trading partners. Scheer, meanwhile, said common ground exists between him and Trudeau on items both promised during the election, including making maternal and parental benefits tax-free and funding public transit in Toronto. The introduction of a tax cut will be the Liberals' first order of business. Scheer said he'll wait to see whether that agreement is reflected in the throne speech. A Commons vote to approve the speech as a general plan for governing is considered a measure of confidence. With a minority government, the opposition parties could easily trigger an election by voting to reject it. A double lung transplant recipient in Michigan has been identified as a 17-year-old boy whose organs were severely damaged by vaping.
Working closely and noting that his lungs were not going to recover, working with the lung transplant team, we worked to get him on the lung transplant list within a week, and on October 15th, he had successful bilateral lung transplant. The patient is recovering well. It takes months to fully recover from bilateral lung transplant. Within 2 weeks, he was off the ventilator and starting to work with our physical therapy team, starting to walk again and slowly regaining his strength.
There was a study released last week that surveyed over 10,000 middle school and high school students, and 28% of high school students reported ongoing use of e-cigarettes, and 11% of middle school students reported using e-cigarettes. Of course, the favorite was flavored variety. So I believe we are just beginning to see the tip of the iceberg.
Police increased security around Hong Kong and its university campuses today as they braced for more violence after sharp clashes overnight with anti-government protesters. Many subway and rail stations were closed after the protesters blocked commutes and vandalized trains. Classes were suspended at universities, and parents of school students advised they could keep their children home. Police and protesters battled on multiple fronts overnight at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. The university's student union president, Jackie So, appealed for an injunction with the High Court to ban police from entering the campus without a warrant or the school's approval. Police had entered the campus and fired tear gas and used a water cannon late yesterday. The injunction would also block police from using crowd control weapons such as tear gas and rubber bullets at the university. A decision is expected on that later today. The Sioux Greyhounds announced last evening that goaltender Christian Propp, one of two overage players on the roster, had been dealt to the Kingston Frontenacs, along with a 13th round draft pick in 2023. In return, the Greyhounds acquired overage goaltender Bailey Birkin, who'd been claimed off waivers yesterday by the Frontenacs. Greyhounds general manager Kyle Raftis said last night that he's hoping the deal will give his team a goaltending shot in the arm.
Last year we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
Here's to the straggly ones, the lopsided ones, the first ones. Yeah, I miss my beard ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. But no way he's grown that in the weak ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. That one. The itchy ones. The never forgotten ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The started late ones. The absolutely filthy ones, the drawn-on ones, the finger ones, the pin ones, the I nearly didn't do it this year ones, and the yeah, why not ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Sign up now at Movember.com.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room. Create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Tell me a story.
I'll tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was a man who loved a reindeer.
Oh, reindeer balls.
Friends, you know?
No, I don't have any.
I wonder why. Can't imagine. Keith, you're going to heaven, honey. The reunion. You know how
they're not having one.
Well, excuse me. I am here to tell you, because it's been such a yes they are, no they aren't, yes they are, no they aren't, since they stopped filming, basically, for the last 108 years. So apparently there is talk of a reunion special in the works for HBO Max. So that's streaming, and it's going to start streaming in the spring. In November, you'll recall that the scripted reunion special, Netflix paid a reported $80 to $100 million for a one-year contract, and that's coming due soon. So Netflix has been running the old shows.
Right.
So now their one-year contract is going to end.
Okay.
Now this other group HBO Max is talking about doing a Friends reunion. Now the biggest challenge for them is getting everybody together at the same time, because they're all so very busy, except for Matthew Perry, because he hasn't acted since. But yeah, so if you're a Friends fan,
my understanding from Jennifer Aniston, and because we're very close, we talk all the time, and she told me through her visit on Ellen, she said that she doesn't believe it would ever be them as their characters again, but the cast might reunite for something else. They just haven't figured out what the project would be, but they are interested in working together again.
Yes.
So it's a reunion of the performors, but not
they're
necessarily.
They're actually calling this a Friends reunion, though. Now.
Wow. So I feel like I've been lied to by my best buddy,
the black and the white
Jennifer
continue,
Aniston.
right? The this and the that. Who knows?
Gosh.
If we don't know, if we can't confirm with you, then I don't know who
It's
can.
just like the impeachment inquiry.
Oh, it's just too much. I just can't. It's the impeachment and it's the Friends. Yes or no or no or yes.
I was so happy to hear Adam Schiff actually say out loud in public they have enough evidence to impeach the president for bribery.
Do you think that's going to make a difference?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I just feel like it's going. When does it start? When do we start hearing
Today
this stuff?
is the televised ones.
And
today
the major
Friday.
networks are
Oh,
programs.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what I'm doing.
Well, you know what? There's not an impeachment every day.
I don't think I just finished a sentence in the last 30 seconds.
Really? I hadn't noticed.
I'm going to come right back with Kyla Faganelli because I didn't let her finish the sentence last time either. She
smells awesome, by the way.
She does.
She smells so good.
Nice to have somebody around here who smells good for a change. Sort of like grandma pantyhose.
Grandma pantyhose. My ankles are swollen.
Kyla and I have things to talk about, so you just get off camera and leave me alone.
Apparently, I'm going to go put some deodorant on. I'll be right back.
We'll be back with Kyla Faganelli, Fit Bodies, Fit Minds, right after this.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
If you ever feel like you need energy in your life, visit my friend Kyla Faganelli at Fit Bodies, Fit Minds. You come in here and it's just like, ah! The whole place lights up with your energy.
Thanks so much.
Okay, last time you were here, we didn't get through everything. Brief recap of what we talked about last time.
Really quick. Okay,
This is about staying well.
Yes, so we started some of the steps of how to, live more well in your life,
Yes.
right? So we went through happiness, and that's number one. I've realized in my career, for sure, number one. We need to be happy in our jobs, in our relationships, in our life. We need to face the fear, step into the arena. Brene Brown says that so well. You step into the arena, meaning like you step into whatever your kind of fear, your discomfort is, and you live life to your fullest.
Live through it. Work
Life's so
through it.
short.
It is.
Gosh, so that's happiness. We got to be happy.
Happy.
2 is my mind flip. God, I need it a lot this week.
Okay.
But it's just you get stressful times in your life. It's normal, but that rock reminds you to flip it.
Yep.
At every moment in
Hold
our
that rock.
lives,
You really
we
look at that
can
and you go,
flip it to a positive.
Flip it to a positive.
And even when it is crappy in our lives, it's always an experience.
You're learning
You know?
something. But even a negative
Oh, man,
experience,
it's so
positive
true.
stuff comes out of it. Flip it.
Yeah, and all those negative experiences, I think that we truly grow the most when we go through
Okay.
those.
Cool.
Next.
Flip it.
Rest and recover, right? So again, I was telling you, everyone thinks I'm going to tell them to like work out 1,000,000 times a week, and I used to be called Killer Kai. I told you that. Now I'm like, man, we need rest and recover just as much as we need movement.
Right.
We need to rest and digest the parasympathetic nervous system. So taking breaks, you know, kind of thing in the day, doing some types of exercise that's going to calm you, not lift you up, depending on times in your life, even.
Breathing,
and even. When you're going through really stressful things in your life, often people think, oh, let's go for a run or go work out really hard. Maybe you need to rest. And listening to your body for that.
Listen to your body, huge.
Next one's so big, breathe. We got to breathe better, right? You got to breathe, you got to learn. We talked about the rib cage. We
diaphragm.
Talked about, yes, diaphragm
I just went to see my chiropractor and found out my diaphragm was so seized up, it was stopping me. My esophagus was affected. My diaphragm was way too tight.
Yes.
He pushed on it and everything changed. I could breathe again.
Yeah, and I talked about how the diaphragm is one of your core muscles. So people want these strong cores all the time, but they're not focusing on their breath.
And I was holding too much.
And our breath can honestly change our mood immediately.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. It's so healing.
You can breathe to your toes.
Yeah, and it's like we just take it for granted, you know? And I talked about how posture creates a better breath too.
Yeah, open the rib cage, shoulders back and down. Yeah, open it.
Awesome. Next, oh my gosh, therapy, right? That was just that. We gotta talk a little bit about this more because I think it's the missing piece to so many people's lives, and everyone has stuff going on, and we need to go to a therapist to open up, and they're professionals that can guide us into what we're going through.
And if you think that you cannot afford a therapist, you are wrong, because in Sault Ste. Marie, we have a Canadian Mental Health Association on Queen Street. They have a walk-in on Tuesdays. It's completely free. You can go in and you can get heard. You go in like 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Last appointment is at 5. They're open until 7. Also, on East Street, there's the Addiction and Mental Health Clinic. I think it's called Addiction, I forget. Anyway, on East Street, there's a clinic. You can go there too. And it's all covered by the government. So fabulous.
And I just think that's so amazing for our city because, you know, there's just so much mental health. And I work a lot with kids too because I do a lot of wellness in schools. And I can't even believe how young kids are struggling with anxiety, depression, and it breaks my heart. And there's an outlet, right? We need to, as even parents, right, be like, okay, let's model that, right?
Right.
And I was saying you have coverage.
Dialogue,
conversation, but you have a lot of these places even have benefits and coverage for it.
Use your workplace. Use your workplace coverage to go and talk to people. Absolutely.
And the last thing I want to say is I always talk about, like, people will come to me with, say they're about to get knee surgery, and they'll come to me 2 weeks out for a bit of prehab. And I'm like, why didn't you come to me 5 years ago? I could have protected your knee so you wouldn't need knee surgery. This is like therapy. People wait for the storm, right? So they wait till it's so stressful in their lives, and they're like, maybe I need to.
Be proactive.
Proactive, yes.
Right.
It's so important. Next, gratitude. The literature on this is mind-blowing. And they say when you're thinking of something you're grateful for, so if everyone just thinks of something they're grateful for right now, you can't be sad, right away. It's like increases your happiness.
And did you say you should be able to name 3 things?
I say 3 things every day, like 3 things. Even when I'm teaching a yoga class, I'll say, okay, let's think of 3 things we're grateful for. Journal it at night, journal it in the morning, journal it before you go into a place that creates stress, maybe your work or whatever. Like think about things you're grateful for and maybe not material things. Like think about the little things.
Think
family,
about the love in your life. Or look at somebody who is less fortunate and thank yourself for not that. And that also helps.
Thankful for our health.
That helps with the flipping too.
Helps with the flipping, all of it. Or even just like how it's like January all of a sudden. There's so much snow out there, right? We can get negative and be like, oh, it's so cold today. But just like think about why you're lucky. Yes, I have a warm house. Yeah. There's so many things. I think gratitude is something we're missing way too much of in our lives. People can get like critics and they forget that, like, you know, maybe they're really lucky to have a certain situation in their life. We all can be grateful for something.
Don't wait until Thanksgiving to be thankful.
Yeah, so
What's
true.
Next,
movement and posture. So last time I focused a little bit about posture, which can also help your breath, help your core. Having good posture right away turns on your core because length creates strength in the midsection. So your
length creates strength.
Yes.
Good.
So length, right? No longer the days are we doing sit-ups to turn our core on. Like that is not helping. It's causing intra-abdominal pressure, which creates back pain. So if you think about this, if you're someone working out, just think the more length I have, the more strength in my core. Right? And then there's many types of movement we teach at Fit Bodies, Fit Minds. I have an amazing team that are so knowledgeable. I'm so proud of them. And so we have tons of styles of fitness, but one thing I want to teach you today is a founder.
I get to learn something.
So a few of our staff is trained in something called foundation training, and this founder is mind-blowing to me if it's done right because it creates length and strength, and that's what we're talking about.
We're going to stand up right now?
Yes, we're going to stand up. I'm going to show you it.
We're going to step off the ledge?
Yeah.
Okay.
And be careful, it's going to fall. So you're going to take your feet, you can do this narrow too, but I'm going to show you this a little bit wider.
Okay.
So take your feet a little bit wider.
On
my back a little bit.
A little wider than shoulder width?
Yeah, a little wider than shoulder width.
Got it.
And just make sure your feet are straight ahead. So just see your right foot. You got to work on that hip.
Okay, yeah. I turned out.
Okay,
My
and then what
ballet.
do? You're going to do your breath, which
Yeah.
is amazing. It links to breath. This is called decompression breathing. It's mind-blowing because it creates the release we need. It creates the movement into the rib cage. It creates the diaphragm to be able to move, and it creates strength in the core. So hands here.
here.
What you're going to do is when you inhale, think about your whole rib cage expanding.
Okay.
So just do that. Inhale. So think front ribs, side ribs, but especially back ribs.
ribs.
So intercostals. I talked about it last time.
Yeah,
So
the muscles in
inhale
between.
and then exhale. Do one more time and think about your ribs lifting higher from your hips.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is hinge your hips back as your arms reach out. And if anyone had back pain, they can bring their arms here. They can make them more narrow. They can have their bum against the wall. But you're just going to reach, and what you're doing is softening your knees, but you're not bending them too much.
Okay.
And what it's teaching you is how to move from your hips.
From my hips, because if you get locked in the hips, you're screwed.
Yes. But also, a lot of people go to pick things up and they say bend their knees. Don't bend your knees, bend your hip, then your knees bend. So hinging is so important.
Hinging.
And it protects our back. So you hinge your hips.
Hinge my hips.
Hinge forward, reach out.
Reach out.
And then if you can, you'll bring your hands together. Each fingertip will squeeze. We call this ball of tension. And each finger,
my gosh.
like these right here, are linked to your lats. So it's unbelievable.
stretch I'm
And then
getting
it's
right
like
now.
you reach as far as you can from your hands to your bum. Last thing.
Lengthen and
Last
strengthen.
thing.
Yeah.
Imagine your feet are pulling towards each other, but they don't move. So inner thigh.
Oh my gosh!
And then you gotta breathe. Not like that.
We're almost out of time.
And then be careful. Come up. Good. That was awesome.
Oh.
But why I like this is because you practice hinging. People don't know how to bend properly. And this is an epidemic of why we're seeing a lot of knee, hip issues, and especially back issues.
I think you just put a rib back in.
80% of our population at some point right now is getting back pain. And so I think this can protect it if it's done right. And along with many other things.
We're out of time now. How far do we
No
get?
way! Oh my God, we'll go to nutrition next time.
Next time.
Yes.
Don't you love when Kyla comes on the show? Okay, so we got about four more things to get to before we're done.
Oh, we have more time right
No.
now? Okay.
When you come back.
Okay.
But you don't have to wait till she comes back on the show. You can go to Fit Bodies, Fit Minds and learn all this stuff from Kyla Faganelli.
Aw, thanks so
Okay, we'll
much.
see you next time.
Yes,
Thanks
absolutely.
for being here. We'll be back with Luann to say goodbye right after this.
Gosh, I got
She is always such an energetic guest. I just love when she comes to visit.
She has to come back again in December because we keep trying to get through these 12 things, and she said, I only got one new thing out, but it's fun to talk to her.
Yes, it is.
It's also fun to play with Christmas decorations.
Yes, apparently you're enjoying that.
I am.
Well, I hope you have a good rest of your day.
I'm gonna.
And I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Thanks so much to Casey Security for sponsoring the show, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.